Good morning, everyone. Yesterday we were discussing about the quicksort algorithm. So, given array, if we are asked to apply quicksort algorithm, first and foremost, what we will do is we'll take first element as pivot element and try to find its position in the given array. Okay, if there are 7 elements and leftmost element, that is the first element, we'll take as pivot element, and then we'll take two pointers I and j. I will point to leftmost element, j rightmost element plus 1. So this is the partition algorithm. We saw this in detail yesterday. I pointer will go on incrementing until that a of ith element is greater than p. J we will start decrementing until that element, right side element, is less than or equal to p. When that condition is met, we'll swap those two elements. Okay, so first is partition algorithm, and then we'll apply quicksort for left side array. That is, once partition is over, that partition element will divide the array into left part and right part. So we'll call quicksort for left side array as well as for right side array. That is, you are going to call quicksort from leftmost element to s minus 1th element, and you are going to call quicksort for s plus 1 to rightmost element. Okay, that is the upper part of the array. S is nothing but our position, mid element position. Okay, so this one example, we have seen this. Elements are there. 5 is pivot here. Okay, 5 is pivot. We'll take I, go on incrementing I until a of I is greater than 5. 3 is less than 5, 1 is less than 5. So go on incrementing it until you get a value greater than 5. And then go on decrementing j until you get a value less than 5. So we'll come here and we'll swap these two things. So similarly, I and j, I will be incremented, j will be incremented. Once I value is greater than j, we'll stop this increment. So mid value, pivot element will replace with the jth element. We'll reach the mid position. So our array is divided into two parts, left part and right. And for this, we'll call quicksort algorithm one time. And for this also, we shall call quicksort. And it will be sorted in the same manner. Is it clear? See, in exam, definitely they will not ask you merge sort. They will give one array and they will ask you to solve it using quicksort. Okay, one or two examples use. You might think that finally everyone will see the sorted array and give you the marks. But you should be very careful when you are doing, you have to write the steps. Swap I is equal to I plus 1, j is equal to I plus 1. Algorithm wise, you have to write it properly. See, if you want full marks, always try to solve these things in the order. Okay. Each iteration you have to write it down. I value is here, next I will go here, next I will come to third place. Okay, each and every iteration you have to write, and then you have to solve. In exam, you have to do it in that order itself. Don't try to skip the steps. Okay, don't write down the answers directly. Always be careful when you're writing the answers. Okay, never skip any steps. This one problem, chances are there it might be asked in exam. Rather than algorithm, they will ask you to implement or using quicksort, sort the given array. They may ask the question like that. Okay, selecting the pivot. All these things you have to write in words also. If you have time, it's better you write the algorithm as well. Okay. In exam, please follow those steps. So quicksort analysis, best case or worst case chances are there. Best case is, this is one example for best case. That is, if this is a given array, if the array is divided exactly into half, in the first pass, and then further again it is divided into half like this, half like this. Okay, if you go on doing the partition and array is equally split into parts, equal parts, if that happens, then we say that quicksort will, it's a best case scenario for quicksort. So for Vex, since it will divide the array into half of each time, it will be big O of log n. See textbook, again in theory for there is no derivation for this complexity. Okay, so you'll get a big O of n log n for best case scenario. Worst case means we'll get worst case if okay, partition happens in this way. That is an array is divided into one part containing only pivot itself, or if the array is divided into 0 part and a length like n minus 1 part uh, containing everything else except pivot. If the array gets divided like this, we'll end up in worst case scenario. You can see here, pivot is at one part, rest of the elements are at another part. So if you go on further doing that, it will divide the arrays like that itself. So if you end up in situations like this, then quicksort will turn into worst case. It will lead to worst case complexity. Okay, can you give me an example? What should be the array pattern when you will end up like this? What is the scenario in which will lead to worst case scenario in case of quicksort? Whether array, if it is in random element, randomly ordered, or increasing order or decreasing order, when we will end up in worst case scenario in case of quicksort? See, best case means you cannot tell the exact examples, but if the array divides like that, we will say best case. Okay, worst case, when we'll end up in worst case in case of quicksort? What will be the possible situation for worst case? What should be the array order in case of worst case? See, in case of worst case, if the array is already sorted, and then if you try to apply quicksort, it will lead to worst case scenario. As well as if it is sorted in ascending order or descending order, any order it may be, both will lead to worst case scenario of quicksort. Okay, if the array is in increasing order or in decreasing order, both the cases will lead to worst case scenario of quicksort. Only in those situations we say that merge sort is better than quicksort. Okay, for already sorted array, we say that merge sort is better than quicksort. Otherwise, quicksort is the best algorithm for any sorting problem. And in worst case, it will take big O of n square to sort the given array. And two common cases, array is already sorted or array is inversely sorted. In these two cases, it will lead to big O of n square. So it is not recommended to use quicksort in those kind of situation. Otherwise, in most of the situations, quicksort will give us the better results than merge sort. Okay, next topic is matrix multiplication. Strassen's matrix multiplication. This is one algorithm typically used to multiply the square matrix. Okay, order of the matrices should be same. Both matrix order should be n itself. Then we can use this algorithm to do matrix multiplication. So this is our basic matrix multiplication, which we do regularly. Okay, there are two matrix A and B. We want to multiply it. We know that A1 A11 into B11 plus A12 into B21, right? That is how we do the multiplication. A11 into B11, A12 into B21, and then A11 into B12, A12 into B22. Okay, so C11 is equal to C12 is equal to, this is regular matrix multiplication. If you see regular matrix multiplication for 2 cross 2 matrix, totally there will be 8 multiplication and 4 addition. Okay, for this regular matrix multiplication of a 2 cross 2 matrix means there will be 8 multiplication, 4 addition. So our new algorithm must be better than this one. Okay, this number of multiplication should not be there. See, this is our typical matrix multiplication which we do regularly. But since it is taking a lot of multiplications, we want to reduce this thing and do it in a better way. Okay, let's see how it can be done, how else it can be done. And if you remember matrix multiplication program, there will be 3 for loops. Okay, I hope all of you remember that matrix multiplication program. And if you compute time for that, 3 for loop means 3 summation of basic operation will occur 3 times, which is nothing but big O of n cube. Okay, time required is big O, complexity is big O of n cube for basic matrix multiplication. Is it clear? 3 for loops will be there. You should recollect the program. So 3 for loops means that basic operation will be carried out 3 times, which is nothing but big O of n cube. Okay, big O of n cube. So whatever new method or new algorithm you devise, it should be better than big O of n cube. Okay, let's see Strassen method, how it works. Again, it follows divide and conquer approach, Strassen matrix multiplication. Assume we want to multiply A and B, and resultant matrix is R. And we assume that it will be matrix will be in the power of 2, n value. And order should be same. Order of the matrix A and B should be same. And we assume that it will be in the power of 2. Okay, why in the power of 2? You can see here. Matrix A is divided again into 4 subblocks: A0, A1, A2, A3, B0, B1, B2, B3. And then this A0 into B0 plus A1 into B1. A0 into B0 plus A1 into B2. So blocks, see, this is not element. I'm talking about that matrix A. That matrix itself is divided into these 4 blocks, and this matrix B is divided into these 4 blocks. And then recursively, we are going to do this multiplication. A0 into B0 is one matrix multiplication, plus A1 into B2 is another matrix multiplication. The main matrix itself, we are dividing it into subparts, smaller blocks, and then they are multiplied and their result is added. Recursively, this is done. Okay, recursively, this is done. If it is done like that, it seems that it will take less time. We shall do it for only 2 cross 2 matrix. Okay, so this is for n number of rows and columns. Let's do it for 2 cross 2 itself. See here, this is Strassen matrix multiplication. This is not our basic matrix multiplication. Okay, C1, 1, C1, 2, C2, 1, C2, 2. This is what we want. To get this formula is different. P1 is equal to A11 plus A22. These 2 diagonal elements are added and then multiplied by B11 into B22. Okay, C11 is equal to these 2 and these 2 are added and multiplied. Okay, this is not C11, this is product 1 and product 2. Product 2 is equal to A21 into A1. A21 into A22, A21 plus A22 into B11. Okay. See, product 3 is again different. Product 4, we will calculate the products like this, 7 products. And then using these products, we are going to arrive at C11, C12 values. C11 is equal to P1 plus P4 minus P5 plus P7. Okay. So this is for first value, first row, first column value. C12 is equal to P3 plus P5. This is Strassen method. Okay, this is not our basic matrix multiplication. Here it is done in a different way. Okay, you already know the basic method. This is a different method. Now, can you tell me whether this is better than the basic matrix multiplication? What do you think? So this is the actual Strassen multiplication for 2 cross 2 matrix. Is it better than the basic matrix multiplication? If it is better, in what way? Can you say just by observing? Can you say whether it is better or not? Yes or no? Is it a better method compared to basic matrix multiplication? For 2 cross 2 matrix, what is the total time? What is the total number of operations that was involved to get the result? In the basic matrix multiplication, how many multiplication you did? How many multiplication and addition? 8 multiplication and 4 addition in basic matrix multiplication. Here 7 multiplication and 4 addition. Okay, 4 times addition will occur, addition or subtraction, 7 times multiplication. So is this method better than that one? Yes or no? Since we are not understanding this, like we can understand this, we are not familiar with this approach. It looks complicated, but if you understand this Strassen method, whether it will be better than our basic multiplication matrix see matrix multiplication for small matrices, your system will perform better. Once the matrix size gets increased, multiplication consumes a lot of time. Okay, that regular basic matrix multiplication. See, this method is better for higher values of n. Strassen multiplication is better because product's number of multiplication is only 7. Their number of multiplication is 8. Based on that, it is little bit better, and there it consumes big of n cube. Here we shall see how much it will take, and you can verify that also. CA11 is equal to, in this case, P1 plus P4 minus P5 plus P7. This is what we got for first row, first element value. Okay, you take that here, substitute the values, solve this one. Finally, we will get A11, B11 plus A12 plus B21. Okay, if you want to verify, you can verify, you will get the same values. So this is the algorithm. And this algorithm is not there in the textbook, so don't worry much about this algorithm. Okay, so this is the algorithm. And if you derive the time complexity for this Strassen multiplication, matrix multiplication, it will be somewhat like this. Okay, 7 times this basic operation will occur. Okay, that is 70 into n by 2. And if you go on substituting 7 to the power of k t n divided by 2 to the power of k, okay, which we can which is equal to 7k, because this will lead to 1, and 7 to the power of log n log 7, which is nothing but n to the power of 2.81. In basic matrix multiplication, we got complexity n cube. Here complexity is almost n cube itself, but a little bit lesser. Okay, both are almost taking the same time, but here there it is n cube, here it is n to the power of 2.81. Only a small variation. Okay, but higher for higher values of n, and this small variation will also matters. For that one reason, this Strassen multiplication is better than our regular matrix, basic matrix multiplication. Okay, see, in exam, they may just ask you how does it work. If they give you two matrix and if they ask you to solve it using Strassen multiplication, can you solve? See, that is one problem which is never asked in exam. But if it is asked like that, you need to remember these things. Okay. We never know how questions will come. So if it is asked like that, you should be able to solve these steps like this. Okay. All of you mark your attendance. Next topic, I will continue in the next class. Okay. Thank you. All of you mark your attendance fast.